Hi people, I'm Annelia. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be sharing with you some things that I did to overcome anxiety and depression. I recently put out a anxiety and depression story time, basically, I guess you can say. Basically gave you a rundown of my life and things that happened in it that I think helped to trigger anxiety and depression for me. I touched on a few tips in that video, but I feel like I didn't give enough tips. So I am here to, go more in depth with it and hopefully be able to help somebody somewhere, because anxiety and depression, mental health and mental illness on the whole, it sucks. Wait, I need some water. I want to start off with tip number one. Tip number one is vitamin D. I touched on this in my other video, and I'm gonna link the video in the description box below for those who have not seen it. But yes, vitamin D. So when I first came to America, let me rewind. I'm from the Bahamas, so I'm used to the sun and sea, and when I came here, there wasn't as much sun and there wasn't as much warmth, and it made me miserable. And I'm not saying the sun doesn't come out here in Missouri, but there's definitely a lot more cloudy days than there are sunny days. And in the Bahamas, it's like always bright and always warm, just always sunny, and it's a big difference to go from that to here. Very big. So for me, vitamin D was something that I got significantly less of when I came here to America, and it impacted my mental health dramatically. With that, I started to go outside more. My counselor recommended that I, catch some sun, at least 30 minutes of sun every day. And so if it's too cold outside, I'm not going out in the cold. I'm not going out in the cold. I'm not doing that, because like I just said, I'm an island girl. You could take the girl out the island. You can't take the island out the girl, okay? I'm not going out in no cold, okay? If it's cold, like when I say I'm not going out in the cold, I'm talking about if it's like unbearable for me, I'm not going out there. I'm not going out there. But I will stand by the window, open the window, let light in. I don't stay with the blinds drawn all day. I'm so happy that I live in a place now where the sun comes and shines directly through my window. For those who are in places where you can't really get sunlight, they do have vitamin D lamps, so you can check those out. So my counselor and I talked about setting boundaries. So learn to say no. That was a big thing for me. When I started developing anxiety and depression is when saying no to people became like an issue or a problem or hard for me to do, because I was trying to be a people's pleaser. When I was younger, that was not a problem for me. I would sing no. I would no. Like, I had no problem saying no. And then the anxiety and depression hit, and it was like, I can't say no. I don't know why, but that's just how it was. But setting boundaries means saying no. Setting boundaries means giving people certain rules and expectations when it comes to you. And whatever boundaries you need to set, that's personal. Everybody's boundaries, everybody's situation is different, so the boundaries they set are going to be different. So I can't tell you what boundaries to set. It depends on you. You really have to be the one to make that decision on what your boundaries are going to be. So another one is yoga. I don't know much about yoga. I recently just started yoga and I love it. You can do the research. If you feel like yoga's for you, then you can do it. For me, yoga is basically just stretching and focusing on my breathing. That's all I do during yoga. I'm a beginner still, but I'm not deep into it. I just stretch and breathe. And it's really good. I feel really relaxed and calm after yoga. Some of the poses are really hard, but I'm really enjoying it. Like, I feel loose, and I'm cracking kinks that I didn't even know were there. Like, I like this. So yeah, when it comes to yoga, you really have to do, with all of these things, you really have to do the research and see what fits for you, and maybe even talk to a professional, because I'm just telling you what I did. I'm telling you what helps me. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to help you, and that's not to bring you down or, make you lose hope in this video. It's just to say what works for one won't necessarily work for all. Definitely talk to your doctor, your counselor, your therapist, your whoever, the professional that you go to for your mental health. Talk to them. Another one is aromatherapy. I kind of still do it in a way. I used to have a diffuser, and I used to have lavender oil, and I just, yes, The only essential oil that I know that really helps with anxiety and depression is lavender. There may be way more out there, but I've only had experience with lavender, and I think it helps. I feel like it helps, definitely. So aromatherapy is one. Another one is breathing exercises. Maybe that's kind of linked to yoga, but I mean, even before I started yoga with the stretches and everything, I would do breathing exercises with my counselor. And then if I was having a panic attack or something outside of counseling, I would do breathing exercises and it would help. So this one is a huge one for me. It's huge. I hate a dirty house. I hate a dirty home. I hate anything dirty. I hate dirt. I hate messiness. I hate chaos. It does something to me. For me, being in a clean environment helps me with my mental health. So basically, I feel like if I'm surrounded by chaos, if like everything is chaotic, if everything is all over the place, everything is junky, everything is everywhere, there's like dirt on the floor, or there's this or this, that I start to feel very uncomfortable. I start to feel very anxious. I start to get like, ooh, like I get uncomfortable. So I realize for me personally, being in a clean environment helps me to feel clean in the mind. It helps me to feel healthy in the mind. I can't do it. I can't do the dirt. I'm not saying that everything needs to be perfect, but you know, that's just what helps me personally. You may be different, but I just feel like that helps a lot. And then also making the effort to dress up or practice self-care. This is something that I really had to work hard at when I first started going through anxiety and depression, because you have this tendency of just wanting to stay in bed. You have this tendency of just wanting to just be there, just lay down all day, sleep all day. You don't take care of yourself because you're in bed all day, or you just can't find the motivation to get up and get dressed. So this is definitely something that can be hard for some people to do. I was once one of those people. All I can say is try to make the effort. Getting up, brushing your hair, putting on clean clothes, drinking some tea, reading a book, watching your favorite show. These are all forms of self-care. Taking a shower is self-care. I didn't have the issue of not showering because, like I said, I can't really stand dirt, so that includes dirt on my skin. If anything, I showered more when I had anxiety and depression. Listen, that dirt thing is stuck in my head now. I'm not, like I said, I don't expect things to be perfect. Sometimes my place does get messy and dirty, but for the most part, like, I thrive in a clean environment. Okay, let's get off the clean stuff. Okay, let's not get off the clean stuff. You know, make your bed in the morning. Make your bed. It doesn't have to be perfect, but make your bed. Get up and you shower, you brush your hair, brush your teeth, you put on fresh, clean clothes. I would put on lotion and perfume and just sit there smelling sweet. Like, stuff like that is self-care. It's the little things that help you too sometimes. You don't have to do something drastic all the time. It can be the small stuff. Self-care helped me in the sense that I'm taking care of myself. Because I'm taking care of myself, I'm in a way taking care of my mind. And it really has done wonders for me. So I take time to read sometimes. I love to write. I do creative writing. Creative writing is more like my hobby. So I have a novel that I'm working on. So I'll sit there and I'll write, and that'll be my form of self-care. Moving on, exercise. Let me tell y'all something. Exercise can save your life. Exercise can make you healthy physically, and it can help you mentally. Exercise helped me, which is why I am so upset that it took me so long to get into exercising. Now, I will admit, sometimes my schedule makes it hard for me to stay consistent, and I end up sleeping past my alarm, and then I have no time to exercise in the morning, and then by the time my day is done, I'm tired, I'm pooped, and I don't really have the motivation to go and exercise. So sometimes it's hard for me to stay consistent, but during those periods of time when I do get into a routine, I love exercising. I can't wait to get up in the morning and exercise, and I hate getting up in the morning. I am not a morning person, okay? That should tell you something. So exercise really can help you. It helped me a ton. I recently came across some exercise routine for people with PCOS, because I do have PCOS, that's polycystic ovarian syndrome, and so it's very easy for me to gain weight. A symptom of polycystic ovarian syndrome is obesity and rapid weight gain. I've definitely experienced that. I used to be a toothpick, and now I'm like, I'm way bigger now. Let's just say that I'm bigger. Being bigger for me, it kind of worsens the PCOS. To me, PCOS is basically diabetes before diabetes. Like, this is the path to diabetes. This is the path to cancer in the uterus. This is the path to cancer in the ovaries and all that stuff. This is the path to fatty liver disease. This is the path to heart disease. This is the path to mental illness, because anxiety and depression is a symptom of PCOS, because it's a hormonal imbalance. I have to exercise in order to be healthy. I have to exercise if I want to live long enough to really and truly experience life, like for real. So it's kind of something that I have to do, and that's how I was forced into exercising, because I needed to do it for the PCOS. But I have to say that it has helped me a lot with my mental health. I did not expect it to help with my mental health, but it did. Like, I feel like I read somewhere before that exercise helps with mental health, but I feel like I just brushed it off like whatever, because how did the two correlate? How did the two link up? You know, how do they do that? But because, like I said, because of the PCOS, I had to start working out, and I realized an improvement in my mental health while doing so. So there's that. Grounding exercises. I am not a huge fan of grounding exercises. I think that they're okay, but it's not something that I'm like, okay, I'm having a panic attack, I'm gonna go do some grounding exercises. I know a good amount of people who grounding exercises have worked wonders for. I just wasn't one of those people, but I still put it on the list because I know those people who it does work for. And so I do feel like it has earned a spot on this list, even though, like I said, it's not something that I can necessarily say is for me. Yeah, I know that I said this video is about things that I've done, and I have tried it, and it's okay. To me, it's okay. To other people, it's like, wow, this really does it for me. So it's all about the person. That another thing that I did and continue to do whenever I feel anxious or depressed, or I feel an attack coming on, is I try to focus on the happier things in life, or I focus on happy memories, happy thoughts. That is very difficult to do sometimes. I know it. I know. Very hard. But it is possible. It is very much possible. You can, in the midst of feeling anxious, in the midst of feeling depressed, you can sit there and you can say, oh, I remember when I got my puppy. I remember when I went to the beach for the very first time. Oh, I remember when I tried that restaurant that I've always wanted to try for the very first time, and it was awesome. Oh, I remember when I met the love of my life. It was the greatest day of my life. Oh, I remember when I had a child. That was the most precious day of my life. Like, these things, you can think about that good thing, and the next thing you know, you're smiling. It's possible. It is possible. And like I said, sometimes I know it can be hard. So I'm not saying these things like it's so easy to do. I'm just saying these are things that you can do and that can help you. Focusing on the negative is only going to lead to more negative thoughts. You have to think about what you're thinking about. If you think negative thoughts, more negative thoughts are going to come. You think positive thoughts, and you can work your way up to being happy, or happier than you are. You can calm yourself down with happy thoughts. It's hard, I know. Like I keep saying, it is possible. Journaling is another one. So I have tried my hand at journaling, and I actually do love it. My problem is I fail to stay consistent at it because I do have a very hectic schedule. I thought that since this was my senior year, I was gonna just breeze on through. That is a lie. Whoever told me that, they lied. They lied, and they lied hard, because there's nothing easy and breezy about this last semester here in college, okay? There's nothing easy breezy about it, okay? I have a hectic schedule. It's hectic. Oh my God. I'm busy. There's never not a time that I'm not busy. I always got something to do. That's why it's been so hard for me to stay consistent journaling, but I will say journaling helped. When I tell you, I wrote like, where's my notebook? This is a small notebook, but I basically filled a notebook this same size almost in one night. In 2 days, the whole book was full. I was journaling like crazy. I wrote everything I was feeling down in my little notebook. Especially if you're journaling about something that you're afraid to tell somebody in person. I really never been afraid to tell nobody anything that I had on my mind. I've been doing a lot better. I used to be very blunt. Now I sugarcoat things a lot. That can be a good and a bad thing. I used to be blunt, and I used to tell you what I thought, when I thought it, how I thought it. I learned that you can't always do that. So sometimes, like, I would, instead of telling somebody who I felt like I couldn't tell them directly, I would write it down in the journal. It helped. It's like, yes, you don't have the luxury of telling that person to their face, but at least you told the journal. And I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that. Like, it literally feels good to get it out of you. I feel like I tore some papers just writing, like angrily writing, and you know, the pen tore through the paper. That's how angry I was one time writing in that journal. Like, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Journal your feelings. Journal them. This one is something that I am still very much working on. And it's forgiveness. If you're going to be mentally healthy, it's not only important to forgive those who hurt you, it's also important that you forgive yourself. Forgiveness is the hardest thing in the world to do for me. I'm a good person, and I don't care what nobody says. I'm a good person. And so when people go out of their way to intentionally try to hurt me, I take it to heart. I take it seriously. I'm always the type of person who's going to try to consider your feelings. I mean, back then I was blunt, but I was honest, and I was never like malicious intent behind my bluntness and behind me telling you what I feel and what I got to say. I've never mistreated anybody. I've never intentionally hurt somebody. I'm like one of the chillest people ever. I'm one of the nicest people you'll ever meet until you piss me off. Don't piss me off. You see the other side of me. But I am a good person, like I said. So when I see people intentionally go out of their way to just try to hurt me, when I see people go out of their way to insult me, when I see people go out of their way to try to treat me how they feel like they could treat, however they want to treat me, forgiveness is something that's very hard for me to do, especially if they don't say they're sorry. Like, even forgiveness, I thought forgiving was hard. Forgiving when somebody ain't sorry, now that's it. That's it right there. That is it. I forgave a few people, and I felt so much better. The thing is, they apologized to me, and we worked on our relationship. Some of them didn't even say they were sorry, but they showed that they were sorry through their actions. And I was like, good enough for me, I'll take it. Because saying sorry is hard for some people. But if you're genuinely sorry and you're trying to show that you are through your actions, I'm going to accept that as well. I just want to know that you are sorry. And I was able to forgive them. Small things I can forgive a lot easier. Bigger things, it's harder for me to forgive, but I definitely can. It's mainly when a person isn't sorry. It's mainly when they don't apologize because they're not sorry. That's when forgiveness becomes hard for me. And that's when I realize I become more depressed or more anxious, because it's like I have all these emotions, whether it be anger, whether it be hurt, and I don't know how to express them, or I can't express them for whatever reason. They're bottled up inside of me, and then it turns into anxiousness, and it turns into depression. Honestly, you just have to forgive. This is something that I'm very much still working on, forgiving people who aren't sorry. This one is a big one. Reduce how much caffeine you put into your body. I was addicted to Starbucks. I was addicted to coffee, okay? And it made the anxiety worse. It made me unable to sleep. It made me even more anxious because I was jittery, because I tap my foot and I'm like shaking. I'm clearly jittery when I drink coffee. Like, I am hyper, I'm wild, and then I crash and burn. say no to coffee, boys and girls. If you have anxiety, stay away from coffee, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Stay away. It's gonna make it worse. Stay away. You know what? Let me be more specific. Stay away from caffeine. To piggyback off of that, I drink a lot of herbal tea. I love herbal tea. And to add on to that, drink a lot more water, okay? When I tell you simple things like this help, they help. On this list, I have tried to get adequate amount of sleep. This is what I mean. Don't sleep too much and don't sleep too little. When you have depression, I feel like it's easier for you to want to sleep more. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, so you need to talk to your doctor about that. You need to talk to your health professional about that. But my overall tip, without getting into the details of all of that and going too deep into that, because like I said, I'm not a doctor, my overall tip is to try to get enough sleep. So around 8 to 10 hours of sleep a day. Am I doing that now? No. But it's not my fault. It's not my blame school. Blame school. I tell y'all my schedule is hectic. It's hectic. They have me out here doing all these things. They got me out here tired, y'all. I tired. I'm tired like dog, okay? I'm tired. Right now, no, I'm not getting adequate amount of sleep. And I can always tell when I'm not, because that's when I start to get anxious a lot easier. So when I start to get more depressed, not more depressed, that's when I start to get depressed. I'm not currently getting a lot of sleep, but on the weekends though, I try to make up for it. If I know through the week I'm going to be busy, staying up till 3 a.m., have to wake up at 6 a.m., and then have a long, busy day. All day, my day doesn't end until like I said, 3 a.m. If I know that's what my sleeping schedule looks like during the week, on the weekends, I'm going to sleep. I don't care if I have things to do. On the weekend, I make it a priority and I practice self-care. Remember we talked about self-care? I practice self-care by making sure I get that rest, making sure I make up for that rest, because let me tell y'all something. You can't let jobs and school and I'm not, hear me when I say this. I'm not saying don't put your all and don't put 100% into your job and into school. But if you break down your body, doing this, doing that, never getting sleep, never making up the sleep that you lose, I mean, you're gonna expect your body to crash and burn, and then what? You end up in a hospital bed? That don't make no sense. Take care of yourself. Don't run yourself into the ground. You have to set boundaries for yourself. Look at that. Set boundaries for yourself, okay? Hey, I work hard during the week. So on the weekend, I'm going to stay and I'm going to sleep and I'm going to rest. And then when Monday comes, I'm going to be rejuvenated and I'm going to be prepped and ready for the next week. That's what I do, because I know my schedule is hectic right now. I have to do these things. I have to get them done. I'm a perfectionist anyway, so if I have to stay up till 3 a.m. to get something done, I'm gonna do it. That's just me personally though, so other people may not take it to that extreme. I will though. I'm gonna do it. So because I know that's how I am, that's me, on the weekends, I'm gonna relax. I'm going to relax. Nobody can stop me. Now, it's a difference if I have something mandatory on the weekend that I have to do, but on my weekends usually are a lot more free. You have to prioritize your health, mental and physical. That's the key. And like I said, this is not to discourage anybody from getting their schoolwork done. So this tip is based off of my relationship. So I have a boyfriend. He's amazing. Yeah, he pisses me off sometimes. But majority of the time, that's my bestie. That's the person have me a keying all day, like laughing, smiling. I say this to say, if you have somebody in your life that makes you laugh, or that is constantly somebody when you're around them you're happy, you want to spend more time around them. Now, let's be very careful with this one. You do not want to make that person feel like it is their responsibility to make you happy, because that is not their responsibility. It's your responsibility to make you happy. They are just there to add to your happiness. So when I say spend more time around them, I'm not saying be around them 24/7. Don't give them no breathing space and put this expectation on them or have this expectation of them that they're always going to be the one who you run to when you need some happiness. Yeah, that's not their job. But being around positive people influences you to be more positive. It influences more positive thoughts. It influences more positive feelings. So I would definitely say surround yourself with people like that who make you happy, who make you smile. And keep in mind, we all know this, but sometimes we need a reminder that people aren't perfect. Not every day they're going to be chipper and happy themselves. And, you just have to understand that. That's the type of person who I surround myself with now. I surround myself with people who make me laugh. I surround myself with people who are positive. I surround myself with people who are trying to be better people and who are good people. And that influences goodness in you. That influences a healthier mind. All right, y'all. So that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.